I'm a strong proponent of the Second Amendment.
This is a response to the gun control bit by Jon Stewart. And instead of some random feckless politician who would never be able to properly articulate the thoughts and feelings of the average everyday citizens they represent, the James Anthony Report is here to give it a try.
We got 400 million guns in the country. We had an increase and gun deaths went up. So when exactly does this curve hit?
Well, John, this curve would hit when you stop condemning law-abiding Americans and penalizing them like the McCloskeys in St. Louis and Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha. And by the way, the number of gun purchases typically goes up when lunatic leftists get elected, for fear that the policies they would enact would ultimately create more violence and chaos.
So your solution to that is give them more guns.
Okay, no one is giving anyone guns. It takes a lot for anyone to purchase a gun, contrary to popular belief. And by the way, stop using the trigger word gun. No pun intended. Please refer to it as a firearm going forward.
If you don't have background checks and you don't have registration and permitting, how do you know who has a problem in terms of the people who you're giving a gun to?
How do I know someone won't run a stop sign this evening, John? This sounds a lot like the leftist narrative that poverty causes crime, but it just doesn't add up. There's been a lot of legal immigrants to this country who were poor, but wouldn't have committed crimes. So it's not a question concerning registration. The question, it seems, is a moral one.
So let's start with immigration. You want registration, maybe a wall, maybe not a wall. Why do you want that?
The majority of Americans support a border wall and documentation to protect themselves, hopefully without having to exercise their Second Amendment right, but which, in your opinion, is the same as a crime.
Also making it less safe for cops and for people.
So wait, John, let's reverse this. Wait. How safe would we be if the cops had no guns? Ask any good cop and they tell you how grateful they are for law-abiding gun owners in this country. Sounds like you just want the authorities to have the weapons. I see where this is going.
Why don't, when the police go to a house filled with guns, why don't they breathe a sigh of relief knowing that this Second Amendment that shall not be infringed is being exercised so fruitfully in this home?
Maybe the subjective nature of comedy has skewed your thoughts on this a bit, John, but no one can honestly say that someone in a domestic dispute misusing a firearm in any way exemplifies the typical gun owner or is simply exercising their right.
If we were able to track purchases, they have a technology that every bullet would be stamped with an individual like a fingerprint. If we had an ATF that wasn't defunded, we would be able to enforce gun laws more effectively, and we would be able to solve gun crimes more effectively.
If you're enjoying these videos, be sure to take a moment to like and share it with everyone you know. Subscribe to the James Anthony Report today. It's free and only takes a second. Now back to the report.
Come on, man.
Right, but not really on this one. Too many regular people in the US have had their backsides burned going down this slippery slope. It does not matter how many laws politicians enact, gangs and criminals will not give up their weapons. So how do you answer that problem? Criminals, by definition, don't follow the law.
What's the leading cause of death amongst children in this country? And I'm going to give you a hint. It's not drag show readings to children.
So you support this?
So what is it?
I'm presuming you're going to say it's firearms.
No, I'm not going to say it like it's an opinion. That's what it is. It's firearms. More than cancer, more than car accidents. And what you're telling me is, you don't mind infringing free speech to protect children from this amorphous thing that you think of. But when it comes to children that have died, you don't give a f.
You're mad at the wrong set of individuals in this country, John. Plain and simple. How about this? Because I think you misused the whole cooler than thou comedian thing on MTV in the 1990s and believe it was people like yourself that got us into this mess, that maybe you shouldn't have an opinion on the matter. You see the problem with this, right? Seems like the problem with Jon Stewart is Jon Stewart. Case closed, problem solved. This is James Anthony, reporting.